Hello, everyone. I just took the OET Medicine exam and I finally got my results. And yes, I passed. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know about the OET from my personal experience, how I study, mistakes I made, test day reality, and a full breakdown of each subtest. If you're taking OET for ECFMG or planning to apply for the pathways, this video will save you a lot of stress, time, and confusion. OET stands for Occupational English Test, which is an English exam specifically designed for healthcare professionals like doctors, pharmacists, and so on in the medical field. Unlike general English exams, OET pay attention or targets on real clinical situations, so everything is based on patient interactions, medical communication, and workplace scenarios you will actually face in your profession in real life, is what I mean. OET has 4 subtests: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Also, they have 3 formats: OET computer, OET on paper, and OET home. How I prep? Oh my God. There are a bunch of materials over there. But to be honest, I pick up a few amount of resources. Number 1, YouTube. I follow a channel that is called E2 Test Prep. Oh my God. This channel is awesome. There are like 200 videos where they disclose every detail of the test. Reading, speaking, writing. They give you examples and all of that. And oh my God, it was so helpful during my preparation, and it was free, which is really helpful too. And I learned so much from them, from the different teachers. They give you a lot of hacks, a lot of tips, a bunch of example, even because the video is a video, but it's like active learning. So they give you like mini tests, and I was doing the mini test with them. They give you time and they show you like the examples, the sample tests, and they give you time for pick up the right answer based on your knowledge and based on what you read and what you understand. And after you finish, they move on and discuss every question. And that's awesome because even it's say like a video classes is active learning. Basically, the videos are like sample questions that they give you time where you can resolve the questions, and then they disclose everything, and was so awesome. And as I said, free. Number 2, benchmark. This one is not free. They have different package. I paid the $99 package. That package include 20 tests, full tests, and one interview, like one speaking mock test, and 4 letters correction. Like it says like 4 organ or 4 letters correction or something like that. So you have like 4 chances that a teacher check your writing letter or your letter, and they give you feedbacks. So you do the example test. You send that example test through email, and they reply you back in a couple of hours with a feedback. That was really helpful too. And also they give you, as I said, a 20 test also is included. I choose $99, but they have different prices, and you can choose the best that fit in your economy. Let's say in that way. Number 3, italki. I use italki for my writing and my speaking. The platform have a bunch of teachers that prep for OET. They have different prices. You can check it out on the platform. And the one that I choose, she was a nurse and also an English teacher. And it was awesome. She was so familiarized with the healthcare environment, the language, and all of that. So it was a good choice. Now let's break down every subtest. Number 1, listening. It has in total 40 questions, and it takes approximately 40 minutes. You have 3 parts, Part A, Part B, and Part C. Part A, it's 2 consultations, filling notes, very detailed focus. Part B, it's 6 short workplace audios. And Part C, it's more like 2 long lectures, interviews, podcast style. And in total, it's approximately with everything, Part A, B, and C, as I said, 42 questions. So let's talk about my listening strategy. I create an English environment. What I mean is that I consume only English media, music, YouTube channels, and podcasts. I also include accent diversity by listening to media from the UK, the US, New Zealand, Australia, and more. I listen to podcasts such as Health Report, Inside Health, the Medical Journal of Australia, and Second Opinion. I also watch some medical shows on Netflix. In a way, I train my ears to understand medical English, if that makes sense. This is fundamental, especially if you are not using English on a daily basis. I use benchmark for practice. You don't need perfect grammar here. You need to pick up words or short phrases. Fill in the gaps and write in a way that the examiner can understand your meaning. If they can't understand you, they will not take points for minor errors. Also, you cannot repeat the audio, so you need to stay focused and avoid distractions. If you miss something, move on. Do not get stuck, because the audio continues and you will miss more information and lose more points. For Part 8, the asterisks are not transcript of the audio, so be prepared for synonyms and paraphrases. Part B consists of many mini conversations, and Part C it's more like an interview or podcast format. Reading subtests. Reading is going to take approximately an hour, and it has in total 42 questions. It has 3 parts. Part 8, fast reading 50 minutes. Part B and C, 45 minutes approximately. Part 8 is like 20 questions. You have tables, charts, clinical information. It's very time pressure. Part B, 6 shorts, workplace tests, 3 options, multiple choice, email, notice, guidelines. Part C, 2 long articles, 800 words, each one approximately, 8 questions each, medical topics, plus opinions. For reading, I use different strategies. I read several articles on PubMed, as well as news in general medical literature from daily practice. I also use benchmark for practice. Be careful with time management for parts B and C. They give you approximately 45 minutes for both. So you need to manage your time well. If you do not understand a question, move on and come back to it later. It is easy to think you have enough time and then run out of time and just end up without completing the reading part. Writing subtests. Duration 45 minutes. You write a formal medical letter using case notes. I won't lie, this was the part I was most scared of before studying my preparation, so I dedicate a lot of time to it. I had a teacher on italki who reviewed my letters and gave me feedback in every class. Each week, she signed a letter case as homework. I have to complete it under timed conditions and send it to her during the week. Then in class, we reviewed the letter together step by step so I could understand what I did well and what I need to improve. Her feedback was extremely helpful, to be honest. I learned the proper letter structure, format, and organization, where to include the date of birth, address, date, patient's name, doctor's name, and so on. These are easy points, so do not miss them. The body of the letter has a word limit of 180 up to 200 words. Be careful not to include too much or too little information. You need to find a balance. They do not strictly penalize you for being slightly above or below the limit, but the closer you are, the better. There is also a list of connectors you should avoid using in letters available on the OET and Benchmark official websites. I highly recommend you reviewing the writing criteria on the official OET website so you understand what is expected. I also use benchmark practice tests. I submit 3 letters of feedbacks. The package includes 4 corrections, even though it provides 20 letters cases. I send my letters by email and they return a PDF with corrections and feedback. This gave me additional reinforcement alongside with my teacher's corrections. Speaking subtest. The speaking test is about 20 minutes total. 2 role plays, 5 minutes each, 3 minutes preparation per role play. What it feels like. You are a doctor talking to a patient or caregiver. Key points. You can see the card during the role play and you are record too. My italki teacher helped me a lot in this session. She was both a nurse and an English teacher, so she was very familiar with the medical environment. We did role plays every class and she gave me feedback. I also watched example tests on YouTube. I watch E2 Test Prep channel. Benchmark also provides a speaking example test and listen to the audio role plays and read the cases. Additionally, I use AI ChatGPT to practice role plays. My test date experience. I choose to take the test on computer, so I went to a paramedic center. I was already familiar with the place because I have taken my USMLE exams there. I had a locker and they followed the standard check-in process. We have an optional 10 minutes break, which I took. I went to the bathroom, ate a granola bar, and so on. I complete all sections, but I almost ran out of time in the reading section, so be careful with time management. My score report. I was so confused about when I will receive my results. The ECFMG website mentioned within 10 days. The test center's staff said 5 to 6 days, and the official website said within 2 days. In the end, I received my score in about a day and a half. I got an email notification, log in, and check my results. I achieved B in all subtests. Yeah. ECFMG requirements. If you are doing OET for ECFMG, listen carefully. To pass for ECFMG Pathways, listening, you need to achieve above 350, reading and speaking as well, 350. Listening, reading and speaking, 350. And writing, 300. And all must be achieved in one single test attend. If you fail one subtest, for example, listening, you have to retake it. So you have to pass all at once. If it's not, retake it. And you can retake the test unlimited. So if something happened and you didn't pass a section and you have to retake it, you don't have any limited time. As for example, the USMLE. On OET, you can take the test as you wish. Yes, the most important thing is you pass everything all at once. My mistakes. Number 1, I focused too much on speaking and writing. Since writing was my weakness, I delayed review reading and listening. In the end, all sections are equally important. If you fail one, you must retake the entire test. Number 2, poor timeline management. I had a plan, but the time passed quickly. I felt unprepared. I went from thinking I have 2 months to realizing I only have 2 weeks left. Number 3, not doing enough mock tests. Mock tests are excellent assessment tools. OET offers free examples, while Benchmark and E2 Test Prep provide additional paid resources. Number 4, getting stuck during listening. If I didn't understand something or felt my grammar wasn't perfect, I will lose focus and miss more information. I learned to let it go. Don't aiming for perfection while typing. If you're missing something, move on and try to guess later the answer. Sometimes is better than leaving it blank. Also, listening sections usually follow a structure. For example, greetings, symptoms, diagnosis, and treatment. If you get lost, try to identify where you are in that structure. Number 5, not reading the guidelines early enough. This is especially important if your OET is at hand. The official website provides requirements. It's like what you need in your test day. For example, if you're taking any section at home, you need a webcam, clean environment, good internet connection, and so on. Check the guideline too late and have to find a a meter in the middle of the night was a nightmare that I experienced because I didn't read the guidelines sooner enough. So don't make my mistakes and review everything in advance. And now let's talk about money. My OET was $420. My benchmark package was $99. And my italki classes, $88. That is a total of $607. I don't know even what I'm saying. Oh my God, when I'm talking about money, I get nervous. So my OET test cost me $607. Not cheap at all, but it is what it is. I will leave the links that I mentioned here in the description box below. Disclaimer, this video is not sponsored. I just recommend what has worked for me, and that's it. But it's not a sponsor. You can follow me here and on social media, Instagram. And thank you for watching. Bye.